Welcome back. Game number 3, and yes, we've gone to 3. Shazam up against DC here, and it's best of 3. One apiece so far as we got ourselves into the draft. Game number 1, Shazam, well laid out draft, well laid out and executed plan. Everything went perfectly for them, but game number 2, Digital Chaos, they caught them a little bit off guard with a safe lane Earth Spirit, a mid-wind Ranger, 5th pick Enigma. Saxa pulling out the hot stuff there in game number 2, but without further ado, we'll head ourselves into this one, and the draft a little bit different this time around. So I'll work with my co-caster, Scant, Shazam getting Enchantress and OD again, but DC are out with a Beastmaster and a Chris Made.
Yeah, and I think it's good from Chaos to have the kind of emphasis on the early game with these picks. And I also think it's good to take out the Beastmaster and now they ban out the Lone Druid, because this is what I was talking about. The difference in game 1 and 2, one of the big differences is that DC had the Nature's Prophet, okay, Shazam get rid of it. Another big difference is that in game 1, Shazam had the Lone Druid and the Beastmaster. They're kind of the key components in making their 5-hero group up strategy make sense. Shazam are going to go for a similar playstyle, but they're not going to have that early pressure or timing window. I feel like taking out the Nature's Prophet is not enough. I feel like they need something else threatening about what they're trying to do, which is going to... Even if DC aren't able to split push, I still think Shazam are putting all their cards on the table if they go that same route. So far it looks like it, then it wouldn't be that surprised to see them pick up the Dazzle again, and those are the 3 core heroes that were in both games for them.
Oh god, you know it's going to be a long night when you forget to switch to the camera and you forget to switch to game source as well. Fine. We've been talking, they've been able to hear us, they've just been looking at a black screen for like 30 seconds or something. Right.
Oh, that's fine. We can say it's a new form of art.
Yeah, it's like... it's like John Cage's, 3 minutes and 7 minutes and 32 seconds, whatever it's called, where orchestra doesn't play anything, it's just, we left it on a black screen to calm things down, chill out, game 3, get ourselves ready. Now you can see the draft, and now you can see what's going on and what we're talking about. We have another series after this as well. NA games, I'm a stupid Euro trying to cast North American Dota.
10
it's
seconds
going okay so far.
This, by the way, is a very big series. If you think about it, I mean, Complexity probably gonna get invited to the Manila Major, and chances are means one of these two is likely to be the team that wins the qualifier. Do you agree with me? I think so. I think that's... We expect EG and Complexity to both get direct invites, and so these teams, like, this is like, I think their first match, yeah, but I mean, we don't know if they scrimmage each other, but they'll want to size each other up and study each other and the bet of each other, like, the momentum for the matchup in their favor, because they're probably the top dogs in the region when it comes to qualifiers. If Complexity are now being EG status, we get directly invited to events.
That way, I mean, we keep looking at Shazam, and they have definitely improved over the past couple of months or so. Digital Chaos, they've got a lot to prove. They've got this new team and a new team house, and Suns fan is bankrolling them all. Lion for Shazam.
Jason Lyon. Famous Jason Lyon. This is good, man. And this is, for me, I feel like something has been limiting to Shazam in both these games, even though they won one of them, is I kept saying the Enchantress Dazzle is like very single orientation support you, and suddenly you have the Lion and you have the capacity to, well, if they're gonna split push against you, you've got that.
5 seconds.
If you have team fight, you've got the control potential, and immediately to me, Shazam's draft is like much more balanced than the previous two.
Night Stalker.
Dire team.
Going crazy. Stalker for DC. The Vision game continues. That's running Night Stalker with the Action Gem.
Why the screen was black and dark, because we were anticipating the Night Stalker.
Definitely.
We wanted the viewers to get into sense of what happens when Night Stalker comes salty.
Hey. I believe what we were looking for. Now, Shazam. We've seen their Enchantress do great things.
10 seconds.
Jason Lyon going to be selfless and just, playing that 5 spot. OD for MSS again. Game 1, he had a pretty damn good game. Go for TC, because Lone Druid is not available. Gyrocopter was very well farmed in game number 2. didn't really seem to have that great amount of impact that we kind of expect from gyros. You know, there were no big early rotations, there were no great skirmishes for him to really show off in. With the farm he'd managed to gain in the first 15 or 20 minutes or so. I just wonder, a hero like Sven is not going to do great against Frostbite early on, against Roar, against this Night Stalker kiting him. Do need a lot of ramp up time to get into those items. Sven is kind of fallen out of favor a little bit.
Tidehunter.
But the Tidehunter here for them, the off-lane hero picked up, gives a lot more room and maneuverability to the OD with a big AoE ultimate out of the Ravage. Always worry about that one-roll hero, and leaving it to last here for Shazam is going to give him a few options just to see what DC go for. But having a Clinks available, a safe lane for Wii. This is, again, you know, you mentioned the Drow Ranger strats and the pushing strats, but physical damage onto a single target is what a lot of people have been using to deal with the Outworld Devourer, and Clinks is a prime hero to do that.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, Shazam, even though they go away from the Dazzle, go back to the Lion, I think they're going to want to group up. Even if they weren't going to want to, I think from draft, it almost kind of forces them to. But TC0, I wouldn't be that surprised if it was something like a Gyro again, just because they can't really pick in one of the carries that goes up on its own and split pushes, because you're against a Beastmaster, a Night Stalker, and a Clinks, and you're gonna pick. I mean, suddenly you'll miss the dazzles that you're not picking because you don't have anything to cover you or save you except for, I don't know, maybe your carry OD.
5 seconds remaining.
I think whatever TC0 here is, it's going to be another one of these situations where Shazam trying to hit a timing and group up, and I think that DC have all but guaranteed that with their picks. And one of the good things for Shazam is that, I mean, you talk about Clinks, the physical damage output being good against OD, I agree with that, but at the same time, Clinks is a hero that I think flourishes in a game which is spread for at least a while, and if Shazam hit their timing at the right time, and like early enough, they have the items they need to group up and force objectives, Clinks doesn't really like that kind of game, and there we go.
That's a timing hero.
Yeah, there's the timing hero, and this is like, Clinks can kind of do what the Nature's Prophet did last game, like appear at the back of the fight. It's a way to play it. Mostly Clinks wants the map to be a bit split up. That's the way the hero flourishes. So I think this game now starts to look to me like it's a bit like game 1 draft-wise. I don't think necessarily that Shazam won that game based on the draft, but I think that DC were under pressure from that draft and maybe didn't respect it enough. The difference in this game is remember I said the turning point in game 1 was DC lacking vision with the fight they couldn't go into, but they have a Beastmaster and a Night Stalker. Even the Clinks is ability. That kind of thing is not going to happen. So we have the same kind of paradigm where Shazam are going to have their timing window, they're going to try and push as 5. DC are going to have to win by fighting. But I think DC have a much more of an edge so far, even without their fifth pick, in terms of winning those fights, just from the vision. The thing that they struggle against is the Tidehunter ulti, and I think their last pick might need to be something that them for like, helps to balance out that like power Tidehunter presents. They go for the Zeus, which it certainly gives them that even more elements of vision. It gives them the damage output. I don't know. I can see a world in which Shazam group up, they push. If Tide gets a good ravage, that's kind of like the end of that. DC get run over and lose a fight, lose objectives. That's kind of going to be the setup in this game. It's like, do Shazam get themselves into that position where force the 5v5 and get a good ravage? Because if they do, it could be game 1 all over again.
What I'm looking at here is going to be the interaction between SVG and Saxa, because Night Stalker, we've seen, you know, a handful of different ways to run this 4-roll Night Stalker, the quelling, the Iron Talon into jungle, to get that level 3 or level 4 by the first night, and then you go running around. Can be stopped by the Enchantress if she roams into your jungle and looks actively to shut you down. But we could also see, the boots first for Saxa. She's going to be much more active early on in controlling safe lane, controlling the mid, and just being that presence force. People down a little bit more, while this Crystal Maiden maybe can focus on jungling a touch with, Clarity's ready. So Misery's going to be your semi-jungler for the start, get herself into level 3 faster, and then Saxa can kind of switch back after the first night, go back into the jungle, dip into there, maybe buy an Iron Talon, on how well his early game goes. Solution Zeus, he gives you a lot of nuke damage. Few heroes that can find a stand in lane against an OD and just farm yourself through. The ODs we've also seen get up on top of the opponent ramp, control lane equilibrium as much as you can. Out the Zeus, get him out of experience and out of arc lightning range more importantly, so Bottle and Boots are delayed and slowed significantly out of him. How are we doing for laning stage? He's safe playing like it.
Seconds to
We're
battle.
gonna have Jason on the line supporting him.
On Crystal Maiden is such a throwback. I think this is where Midas Gaming comes from. LGD and like, I mean, people who've only been watching Dota for a couple of years might not know, but there was a stage where Hand of Midas was only ever bought on 3 or 4 heroes ever, and then all of a sudden Misery did it on Crystal Maiden, and the whole world was like, hey, we should just buy Midas on whatever hero we feel like, whenever it's, you know, whenever I have 2,000
The
gold and don't need another item.
begins.
I thought you were gonna throw back to Dota 1 there.
I was meant to have this.
I mean, that is, it could be a throwback to Dota 1 as well. Was Misery playing Crystal Maiden in Dota 1 as well?
I'm pretty sure I remember him doing it.
I thought he was mostly playing like, carry and he switched to support already at the end of Dota 1.
Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe I'm thinking of the start of Dota 2.
I think that's more likely, but I mean, look, it's not a huge deal either way. We're gonna have this, the thing that I remember from Brax's
Broken out.
Summer Cosplay series is, I don't know if you put the camera on him, he's just spam the taunt.
Yep.
He's one of those, he's just like Moon. He's gonna spam the taunt all game.
He's learnt from Ice the ways of the taunt spam. Going out as much as he can, but Moo is up on the top lane, Beastmaster up against Jason and TC on the line, and Lycan respectively. Cat and Dog going up towards the top to try and deal with the Beastmaster, but he can't master these beasts as Enchantress. Takes over this dire jungle. SVG just farming up a little bit, probably going to smoke up once herself. Yeah, Mud Golem and Dark Troll is a pretty good combo, especially this camp. Get yourself to level 2. Well, OD MSS on that hero once more. Resolution Zeus on the last hit, just going to get traded off here. Farm against farm. Axa. Move towards mid lane. He knows that this timing from the Enchantress is going to be soon, and this is why he's created his buffer. Pushing forward into MSS, making sure there's no go in on Resolution, but maybe they've played this a little bit too aggressively. They'll go in now onto the Zeus, and with a trap there, Resolution played this far too aggressively. Taken out by Shazam.
Having a Night Stalker there doesn't mean that the Enchantress can't do Enchantress things. That's the. I mean, maybe they expected the Enchantress to come in with just one creep, in which case that would be totally fine. But having the power of both the creep, double disable the extra damage, and yeah, they don't care at all about the Night Stalker. SVG again showing that his understanding of that whole roaming position role is pretty good.
Move up to. We're going to try and build into Iron Talon. Lycan Lion Lane is a bit nasty, but we has the clicks down at bottom against Brax's Tide Hunter. Hang on a second, look at this. Misery. Visible. Axa leading the charge, the Centaur will scout out the Night Stalker, but we still want something out of this. Entirely sure what he'll be able to get though.
Yeah, they can't kill the Enchantress, and they probably can't kill the OD either, so it might just be a little bit of harassment. Just gonna back off, buy some boots. Standard odds. Maybe wait for nighttime to try again, although Axa is still level 1 on Night Stalkers. So it's not really going to do that much for this.
That Hunter in the night. Let's move back towards his own fountain. He's got the Iron Talon over in the courier as well. Axe having an okay time here. He's got his own Iron Talon, so offlane is in relatively similar situations, both level 2.5 or so. Both going to be aiming to farm into the jungle, but it's the wrap on the top. Saxa has been given this top lane to try and leech some experience, but with the brown boots, he's not going to find an escape. Any way out of this one. Stomp, not landing, but they've got more than enough damage here just to clear up the Night Stalker and find another juicy kill for the Lycan.
Behold the
Blood
night
on his claws. Now, maybe going to push onto the tier 1 move. He doesn't have a way to defend this.
It's really interesting to me that we didn't just start the Iron Talon. Something I've seen, like, if Swindle plays Beastmaster offlane, he usually does. And I guess to start the Start Shield instead, me think that he thought he could get value from the lane, and then after being in at the start decided actually he can't. But I feel like that's, I mean, it's a very important skill to offlaning these days. It's like judging from the beginning of the game if you can be able to get value or not, because he would be a lot further ahead. He'd get his levels a lot quicker if he had just started with the Iron Talon, considering the fact that he went straight to the jungle. So it's, I mean, it seems like such a small thing, but that's like a key thing to look out for offlaners in the current meta, how well they judge. If you're gonna be forced to abandon the lane, just hold yourself for abandoning the lane. all in all, after killing the Knights off the lane, did push the tower, so quite a lot recovered in terms of XP and gold there for Mu, and you'll be able to get the boost on top of the Iron Talon, and he's gonna be totally fine. It's towards the mid lane, seeing what happens.
Oh, we was very nicely playing that bottom lane with the vision over onto the Tide Hunter. Managed to do a nice little stutter step with his steering arrows and a decent chunk of damage back onto Brax, forces him away out of lane. And mid, you were looking there, Saxa and Misery made their rotation in, but Jason with SVG, they were ready. Be preempting that attack. Get themselves into that defensive position. Looking at MSS, he's got his bracer and that magic wand up to 14 stick charges. He's still to kill off his that will devour. He's got Astral to save himself, the stick there as well to heal him up. Damage output, it comes slowly over time from DC. There's no instant nuke really to kill him off apart from this level 3 lightning bolt. Bit of control. Actually taking him down is a different story, but you've left Weehar as well as TC on these two safe lanes alone to farm freely. So we see this come in. 4 heroes farming very nicely here, 2 apiece across the board. Beastmaster 15 and 1. Lighthunter's only 6 and 0. The Brax does have some catching up to do while Enchantress looking for this roaming role with another smoke, maybe joining forces. Jason's Lion. Why did they aim towards? Like, Zeus is a relatively easy kill because he's so static and doesn't really have any escape mechanism, can't get himself out of dodge. Resolution's a shrewd and crafty player. Not going to be putting himself into too many situations where he can be caught.
I'll bottle the history, so it can be very difficult to pick him off. I mean, that's interesting because the Night Stalker and Crystal Lane spent a lot of time at the mid lane and they failed to make any successful kills. But mostly what they did is they just prevented Zeus from being too harassed or killed, and I think that was the major purpose. Go back to the bot lane now, they're going to try and dive the side under. I think they might have enough damage.
They've got the frostbite just to slow him down. Tactical's Wrath was even thrown out there, but the top tower drops as Misery, he's caught. Awfully dodgy spot. Hang on a second. Jason says, MSS, get yourself back in there. Misery's still sticking around, hiding in that nice little tree. Rotated your OD across though. Moo is getting his level 6 towards mid. Brax, things definitely have dipped pretty nastily for him, but Shazam, they're leading in kills so far. Feels like DC, meantime anyway, I don't know, it just feels like they've got a little bit of an upper hand. Even though that timing is definitely coming. Once the life gets to the Necros, once the Enchanter starts pushing these towers, Shazam have definitely got a lot of brute force power behind them, and that's how they like to play.
Yeah, so I think DC will want to use they have before that timing. In this case, I don't think they'll want to respond just to the timing. So we should probably expect them to try and get value out of the Thabat's Wrath every time it's up. And definitely they'll want to get a lot done in the second night, because first night's going to end pretty soon, and this is still level 3. They're not going to have that much they can get done then. I mean, they can play around the Beast one. Kings could get involved in the position.
Now, I was primarily looking at Moo's Raw. Utilize just yet Saxa, oh god. Walked into a couple here, but no level 6 in SVG means limited damage output, and Saxa sort of glimpse of that ancient stack being built up by Shazam. SVG just gonna scout onto high ground. Misery. Clear up the Wild Ring. SVG tries to deny. Throws up the Tornado, but he's not having any of that nonsense. Clears it up with a nice little Crystal Nova. Weehar. The one on bottom lane has his name on it. Finished off his treads, got his Soul Ring after. I think it's pretty interesting. See people still liking the Solar Crest, but Desolator has always been that big item on the Clinks since the people shifted away from the Orchid.
Yeah, Desolator's probably the default build these days. Occasionally I've recently seen some players going for early Diffusal Blades. All the time it's just to preempt the Ghost. And you can get the Desolator in addition to the Diffusal Blade, honestly, like it's not that bad to do. So yeah, with the trades in the Soul Ring and the Ring of Aquila, this is usually a starting time where if a Klinks is going to roam early on, these are the items that are wait to get, and I think we might just wait for his next Death Pact. Up a big creep here. Maybe look to go get involved.
Yeah, they've got smoke on Misery, so they're definitely looking to go reactive.
It's actually interesting to me that he bought so many, like the Soul Ring and the Aquila and the Magic Wand, because he has CMR, so I think you'd actually maybe need one less item to have your mana always up. for Klinks in this game, because Klinks really likes Siamora. It's like the reason you usually buy so many mana items, you know, all of that region you run out very quickly, but he goes for all of them anyway, and he's pretty much gonna be full mana all game at this rate.
Early Roshan attempt here from Shazam with the Vlad and the Lycan. They were coming out. OD is caught mid, you're right, MSF just shredded there. This an unacceptable casualty though. Brax with his anchor smash, they'll realise, okay, this is a little bit too slow. See if they are responding and coming in a lot of their forces to try and stop this Roshan from actually happening while we sit in invis. Kind of revealed that here actually. Jason with a smoke, SVG with a smoke, there's no dust or sentries. Nothing really here to actually see where we are standing. Well, Sax has been given time to get himself into level 6 and look at move. Himself up pretty nicely, currently sitting ahead of that Enchantress. Not far behind that pack of 4 heroes that still farming very well. Oh, Weeha sees Brax and
Middle is missing.
I'll find a kill.
Needed 1 or 2 more hits because they had a Thunder Go threat, so it wasn't too far off the kill
under
actually.
attack.
And it's actually, yeah, I mean the tower situation is even so far, and I think DC might get the second tower first, which is a very bad sign for Shazam, but they're entering this mid tower and I'm not sure how Shazam actually defended. Like, they'd have to find a way to utilize the Ravage, but I think DC have the tools to sort of kite it, not group up around the stage.
Oh, the Thunder's Wrath reveals out the smoke from Lion and Enchantress. They were definitely, like you were saying, trying to set up for that Ravage. Brax is making the wander down towards middle lane from his fountain. See? Still farming bottom. Lycan going back into the medallion. This is an old school build where we saw the Vlad, Bentham medallion, with the Necro 3, then the Solar Crest. Against the Klinks. Makes perfect sense, right? Evasion. Up against that single target, the single physical damage target that they've got. Sax is being hunted down a little bit here. He pops his darkness, gets it into night. Shazam will look for the tier 1.
Yeah, the extra armor is also gonna be nice, and also I feel like DC wouldn't have been happy with how slowly they were rushing. So you get the medallions that like you can actually, when you get that opportunity, go into the rush.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
So Chaos seeing these big old 5-man from Shazam. Get involved in that too heavily. Another smoke out from them. Smoke himself into Roshan. Oh, Saxa. Oh, Saxa. He sees it. He's invis here and he's going to catch himself in the range of that sentry ward if he goes any closer. That dire sentry ward in a pretty damn good spot. Then walks from the Rosh pit and I think DC knows. That's not a good idea of what's happening here. Thundergod's Wrath is ready in 2 seconds time and Resolution might throw it to give themselves vision. Roshan is dying slowly but surely down to half of his health right now. But this for Chaos, they're prepping themselves moving towards this Rosh pit. Weeha. Not ready to fight just yet because they are walking into Ravage and Samson's Clip. Lion's got his level 6 as well. So the vision from the Hawk, there's Resolution, Lightning Bolt, zaps down a little bit there. Crystal Maiden up on the high ground. And TC, he's in that shapeshift form, but they're bailing themselves away from this. Shazam, they don't want to fight in the Rosh pit, even with their big team fight ultimates. We are. He's walking himself around. Bit of a stroll, bit of a strut. Shazam, they're looking for the wrap. Trouble is, this Hawk sees everything. And Digital Chaos, we are you sure about this? Sentry Ward not going to give vision of him over on the side, but it's gone down over onto Moo, and this Beastmaster is gone. Shazam kill off one without using anything else but Ravage now with the Weeha. He's caught, the Sentry Ward sees him, he turns to fight, but Brax has popped his ultimate run time with MSF, catches him as well, but no more Arcane Ultimate with that Thunder God's Wrath. They kill off one, but Weeha's clinked. Back into invis, no they can see you, and not only can they see you, they can kill you.
And he's hoping to make a round. It's difficult to get the vision of him there because you can't put a sentry inside the rush pit. Works out by Shazam, so tactically, I mean, it looked a bit uncertain for a while, but pulling out and then going back in, and I think maybe a bit of a blunder by Weed to go in and try and steal the rush at that point. Like, almost like they felt like because Shazam had used the Lycan ulti, because Shazam had pulled away, it like entitled them to just take the rush, but Shazam still had the key like spells available. They still had the Lion ulti, they still had the Tide ulti, the OD and the Enchantress DPS. And I think the reason Shazam didn't want to fight this time is because bottlenecks them, which makes it too easy for you to like, you be the one kiting them, but as soon as DC can put some heroes in the rush, put another heroes onto the ramp, they're the ones getting bottlenecked, and they're the ones that lose the fight in the rush as a result.
I didn't even use Santi's Eclipse, so MSS still has that for the next team fight if he wants it. Jason is saving up a hell of a lot of money here for his Blink Dagger, and looks like he's rushing into it. His D-Wards is definitely helping as well.
DC actually isn't going to go Medallion, he's just going to go straight for the Necro again. So I think, you know what, I feel like the first time they tried to rush, they didn't have the OD, and he was like, this is really slow. So he buys the mask back, he's going to go for Medallion, and then MSS is like, no, come on, I'm just going to help you rush. But speaking of MSS, Sage is probably going to down. Yeah, does it? No, it doesn't. Fine. It's actually a retreat from DC.
Yeah, Resolution is still level 10. If you had level 2 ulti there, maybe he goes for the kill.
Yeah, again, he got so close, so I really thought this ulti a little bit more damage would do the trick, and this is it now. That's his Beastmaster dying at the top lane, in fact, and I was back in a position where I felt like the lane stage is doing quite well for DC, but we're getting closer to that position where DC can still hit, Shazam can still hit their timing window.
Got ways to kill off these enchantment creeps though, frostbite and all that. But oh, it's getting nasty here. Necro 1 is up for Lycan. It's Outlaw Devourer. Is that Rod of Atos complete? 1,000 gold off it. MSS isn't too far away from it. SVG on this Enchantress goes back for the cloak, knows that the Zeus is going to be the primary source of damage onto the Ench. Drums and cloak, no treads or phase boots or anything like that. Try and tank up as much as you possibly can, while Brax, this mech, after the Ancient stack, is going to be very close to done. That's going to be prime time. Shazam to push into these tier 1s, and well, I guess there's still a tier 1 mid, but tier 2 still standing as well as they move themselves forward into the jungle, and Misery finds SVG in with a freezing field. Oh hell yeah, that's the damage output, but with a stomp forward, SVG saves himself with a Centaur Resolution, looking now for TC, we are standing around as well, this Lycan in a spot of bother, runs himself away, shapeshift in 7 seconds time, but there's no big source of damage. Finish him off. 5 seconds until Thunder goes Wrath though. Resolution, you're thinking about this, you have the balls, you do! Kills off the Lion as well. Double kill for Resolution. What a cheeky little bastard.
Roll Jason. His first death of the game actually, like running around with just brown boots, is what I always see him do online. He's getting towards the Blink Dagger this game. He's actually getting help basically because he hasn't got any deaths, he's been collecting towers. Would be really unfortunate for him if he started having a chain of death at this point in the game. So you might want to just say to this team, either let me have some space to farm push the dagger, or let's just avoid promoting them for a little while. Other people also have their timing, to be honest. They really want the Lycan to get to Necro 3. Necro 1's quite the thing that you need.
And Brax is struggling through these Ancients as well. The mech 30 gold off it though, we'll have it once he's got back his bounce regened up, while MSS, Rod of Atos 100 away. How are we looking for items on DC though? Because 1250 over on Misery. Not entirely sure what he's building into, usually see your Glimmer Capes, your Force Staffs and things like that. Could be utility items. Probably not going to be either 20 minute items, but just gonna throw it out there just in case it is. While Weehar is definitely going into them, yeah, he's definitely got the Desolator. Never mind going into, he's finished it. Desolator's done for him, 1, 1 and 3, and this is where he can start being active alone. Pair up with a Beastmaster if he wants to, but it's going to be the solo play here from Weez Clinks.
I think he's going to snipe the Sage mask. They keep pinging it. Like, I first saw the Night Stalker, but do you see TC put his Sage's mask on the ground? Like, 3 players ping away.
See, there's the shapeshift, but damage output from Wee is good enough. Resolution says thank you, Wee. He sets it up. I'll take it. That's all mine now.
About the mask, just kill the mask wielder, and at the same time Jason does get this blink, so that'll be something that's good for Shazam. But I mean, the Lycan is actually like a key component in the setting up for the correct timing for Shazam. He's found the Necro 2, but he needs to get to the Necro 3 really soon. He's got a couple of minutes. He can't be dying before he gets to it, I think. If he gets another death before he gets to it, the window might be closing.
What are they up to? Saxa, relatively quiet this game, went back for the Iron Talon, but he's already pretty much done with his Aghanim Scepter, 1200 gold away from completing it, and I think he knows the practice over here. He's leeching experience away from these Ancients. Getting a decent chunk of it as well, pops himself up to level 9. Oh, TC. Coming away mid in the dark jungle, it's been taken over here by Digital Chaos. Weeha. Kill onto this Lycan, but I don't know if he can get this with SVG so close nearby, and rest of Shazam walking in. The Radiant Observable just behind them sees all this movement, of course, towards the tier 1 mid. So DC, they can decide set up the split push onto tier 2s, or set up the defense.
Weeha might just break their smoke again. Well, he runs away from early on in the game, having their smoke broken by the Night Stalker, but this time the smoke succeeds and probably kills these
Super simple. And Jason with Blink Dagger making a debut, paying off. Well, Scant, I said it was a possibility. I didn't think it was likely, but Misery has gone for the 20-minute Midas.
The classic Midas gaming, Misery Crystal Maiden started it. And
Radiant's middle tower.
I mean, I suppose there isn't any one item. This is what I always think about Midas. Is there something he did to spend a 2k one instead? I could argue for the Glimmer game before start here. I mean, they're against Necros, so maybe that decreases the value of Glimmer. I'm not sure. Was like the way you judge if that was the right buy or not is what happens in the next 5-10 minutes. If the team gets steamrolled and you're like, hey, where's that utility, where's that saving power, then it's definitely a misbuy. But it's actually very tough to call at this point in time because Shazam are kind of at the right window. At the same time, it's just them with the Necro 3. There is a Necro 3 on the other side as well. There's huge potential for damage outputs and not a Zeus pick. I mean, I was comparing at the end of the drop. I was expecting to see whether they can contact the side or like provide that kind of like team fight defensive side. Zeus doesn't have the lockdown, but it has the damage output times a million. And if you try push the high ground too early against the Zeus, I can think of no hero more punishing Zeus to have against a team like overextend and a put.
Resolution has plenty of gold behind him. Look at him. He may have been calling him a kill stealer in chat, but my goodness, 5-1-0. He's got himself almost 11,000 net worth. He's ahead of the Lycan and the Clinks and the OD with Veil, Blink, Ether Lens, and I think coming up to him on the Courier as well as his travel. He's got boot travel done as well. Zeus is stacked, absolutely stacked.
It's absolutely the key though. He's like, honestly, the game's situated at a point where I think if Shazam were to kill the Zeus, they'd like immediately push or force his buyback because he's the hero that scares them from just creeping and doing their push plan right now. All about the Zeus.
Damn, they want to try and creep up as 5 again. Nice D-wards in their own jungle. Jason has been on point with these. Oh, Misery just keeps on farming with his Hand of Midas, and DC draw this game out longer and longer, and you're looking at Aghanim Scepter now on Saxa. He's going to have the gem completed as well, so the longer this game goes, the hands Weeha gets himself into the Roshan pit, and the scouting Resolution Ultimate gives them the perfect safety net here. Just to finish off Roshan and get a free agent under the nose of Shazam who needed it. They require it. Push high ground with their life.
And again, this is for me the most standout difference in the game in that first game. That there was a vision advantage for Shazam in that first game. They were the ones that beast monster. There was no Zeus, there was no Night Stalker. And as a result, DC walked to the wrong place at the wrong time. They had a bad fight. Suddenly Shazam had all the momentum and pushed. But with the Night Stalker Ags, with the Zeus ulti, the Beastmaster Hawk, even the Clinks just running around scouting, them are not gonna get the, you know, it's not gonna be offered up to them on a plate. You're gonna have to work hard to win a fight or get a pick off. Or did they finally kill the Sage's Mask?
I don't know if they killed it, but it's gone now. Rest in peace, Sage's Mask. But it's not in anyone's stashes or couriers or anything like that. So either it was killed, TC picked it up and sold it.
I'm sure I'm sure I saw it there when they were pushing. So probably they killed it. That would be my guess. Oh well, just the Sage's Mask.
Just the Sage's Mask? That's money. That's money gone to waste. It's like that thing, right, where it tilts me a little bit in games when people leave, you know, like a Ring of Aquila or even, I don't know, even like a Quelling Blade in the Roche Pit, and they don't pick it up with a courier. Because you're not going to go back and get a Quelling Blade. But it's money wasted. It's money that could be in your account later. Or it could just be an item, like what I said does. He keeps the item, he doesn't sell it, he just keeps the item, like, ready in his stash for selling later, so he doesn't lose gold if he dies. Having that available for you is good.
No, you're right. It's slightly inefficient. But it's a pretty cheap inefficient. It's like 320, slightly more than 322 gold. Amazing. I'm really working on my league here. JK, not really. So what's happening in this game? Shazam needs to do something. They need to like create their own opportunity. I feel like the group plan was too straightforward for them in the previous games, even the one they had lost. And it's not straightforward here, but their plan is not to just like sit around and play the farming games. They're getting out farmed.
I see this. The ping came out from orange, and Weehar's gonna walk into the smoke, but oh my god, the Slider is here! Weehar trapped in with the net, and he doesn't know what he's walked into, or does he? If the shot comes down, Weehar not dead just yet, the fun record's coming through, but the Kings are still alive! Scat, Weehar finally dies, it will drop, and there's no one here to save him, but just look at the split push coming through. Weehar draws so much aggro and attention over the side that over towards bottom lane, tier 3 is being pushed in.
Good. I mean, okay, these ones are getting pushed. This was not necessary. The mistakes were definitely made there because he had every reason to think that the entire enemy team is around, right? I guess he might as well have already TP'd.
Under attack.
But yeah, I think that's an unnecessary death. I think before that, in the context of Jam smoked their whole team, Clinks and Lycan trading, that's pretty good for DC. But maybe in the context of the way that the fight sort of worked, like if we all wanted to, I'm pretty sure you could put it that way with KB and when we ran away at the beginning. So he decides to take the trade. Yeah, I think the trade game is good because they just are out farming. Like, passively, they absolutely are out farming the map. Honestly, part of that is the Crystal Maiden Midas. Like we talked about that. Now Misery has a Blink Dagger. Who knows what's gonna be next? This is like all of the heroes in their team are scaling. And Shazam's heroes are, I mean, they're scaling, but not as quickly. And they're built for a particular purpose, which is meant to happen sort of now, or the next minutes, or 5 or 10 minutes. Like, it's not that their draft can't scale, it's just that they're being out-farmed, and they have a draft which is set up in a way that it wants to use the current timing. And speaking of that, Jason might set up another kill on food.
It looks like a good little catch here. Jason in a perfect position, perfect time, and giving the kill across to TC's Lycan. What we've got now is building into a BKB, and on a Lycan, that's a game-ending item where you just want to go and win team fight, push high ground. But Weehar, he has other ideas. Out. A second, go for it. Spots out MSS and Brax, but himself away even with that BKB. I guess you do have the Astral to try and save the target there, so walking into OD +1 is not the best pairing of targets to look for.
Again, it doesn't matter how many times they pick up the hero is Zeus. That's what I feel. It's, I mean, to some extent it's also Clinks, because Clinks is a BKB and you can't control it through BKB, so the damage output there is huge. Zeus is like any fight where Zeus stays alive for the duration of the fight, any tower defense where Zeus is alive for the duration of the tower defense, the Shazam are just not coming out on top. And Zeus's life has been totally unthreatened for 20 minutes in this game. I think we're close to dying.
Look at Misery, honestly. This Hand of Midas, you know, you're saying if this is the item, if it pays off, you look at the next 5-10 minutes, and well, so Blink Dagger, 2,000 gold almost saved up, and he is racing up this net worth board, closing in on the Beastmaster, closing in on the Tidehunter. Well, Nightstalker, you know, he got himself the Aghanims and the Gem, giving this kind of a semi-global vision out for his team and dewarding everything. Not a single dire ward stands. The Iron Talon able to deward everything himself, of course.
Pretty sure if Misery had run with the game, he was not farming the Midas. He'd already have just that stage. He wouldn't have farmed the Blink, he would have another 2,000 gold. I think he'd be like 3,000 or 4,000 gold behind where he is now. It's not just about the item, it's about how you end up playing. When you go with that Midas, you very passively defensively just farm. If you go for the Glimmer or Force, you're gonna be like sitting around behind people, trying to like make sure the item is valuable. So yeah, in retrospect, it seems it was a great buy, and it's contributed. I mean, it's half of their gold lead right now. So I'm saying that's generated about 4k, like already, just because of the way it affects the game on balance. They've got about an 8k lead.
And now you look at the Zeus near the end of the green core done. Super Chaos there behind and killed at 7 to 10, about 30 minutes into this game. They are farming very well, while Shazam, okay, they've got their BKBs up on both OD and Lycan. At least he's 100 gold away from the BKB, very nearly had it up. For staff on Brax, we haven't seen any big 5-man team fights, which really is what it feels Shazam built this lineup to do. Since they took all of the towers mid, they looked for the tier 1s on the side lanes, they've barely crossed the river. They've barely been able to get into this Radiant jungle and look for the tier 2.
Yeah.
It's a difficult route to travel, and then of course we're looking at this and thinking they can't split up because of the clinks, they can't really group up as 5 because of the Zeus. Do they do?
I think they will group soon. I mean, Tide could have bought Greaves by now, so I'm guessing that he's saving for Blink rather than Greaves. I would guess that that would be the final piece of the puzzle for them. Just hope that he gets, if Tide buys a Blink and you hope that he gets a nice Blink initiation plus all the BKBs in your 2 main cores, that would be like their sort of later timing window for going into the all-in creep up as 5 player.
We are with this DD rune and the Crystallis. Wait. Spot out one easy target. It's gonna be MSS that he looks to try and snipe out. 1, 2, 3, not gonna be enough damage right there. If it was an extra hit up onto high ground, he could have killed it, and it's surprising really that MSS didn't go for the self-astral to save himself. They're up to tier 2. Tidehunter now has Blink and Force Staff. The Chaos have such good control of this map.
That's something I could count. Because they have the nice little vision of the Hawk in that. For the Tide to initiate from so far away, he forces himself and blinks. A nice Ravage could actually be like the difference maker in this game. It's difficult to think of anything else that could be, but if he gets a good Ravage, set up for Lion to blink in and get a nice Impale as well, should be enough between the two to win them a fight. And if they win a fight, they will convert into objectives, especially if it includes killing the Zeus. So this, I mean, maybe Shazam starts to have the appearance of grouping up, pressuring, looking for that fight, and having opportunity to get a nice initiation with their Tide or their Lion.
Tidehunter, got to keep farming, keep these items coming in, because Misery, he's closed the gap, and he did overtake you for a split second there. 3,400 gold on Misery. Are we gonna see the Heart Crystal Maiden? Do you remember the puppy Heart Crystal Maiden? Yeah.
I do.
Come on, Misery. Show us the money. Got a blink and a TP to get away from this, while Saxa is over on the side. He's placed a nice little ward up on this plateau here, the good old Tinker ward spot. Got to back themselves away, but it's just this insurmountable pressure from DC. Every time, again, it's this moment where Shazam feels we've got to move here, and as soon as they start moving to that direction, they get pulled across the other side of the map. So right now, you know, if someone was pushing bottom lane, oh look, there's someone to kill. Let's move bottom. And they realize mid lane's pushed in. There's a Crystal Maiden here. Top lane pushing in. So they have to move themselves all the way across the map again. And they're just doing this over and over again. So they started out, you know, moving here and here and here and here, and just keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper until finally they end up moving back and forth between their tier 3s and their base. And this is just perfect play from DC.
You see, I was saying, but you don't need an edge properly to split push. All you need is to have better vision of the map and the enemy team, and you can do it all day. And Misery, by the way, has bought a Mystic Staff. I was gonna say, I remember this was one of his preferred builds when he first started buying Midas and CM a few years ago, of the Hex. Pretty sure it will be a Hex, and like a Shiva's. Just, I mean, it's insane value. And a hero like Crystal Maiden has a Hex. That was like part of how people justified it for, like, Midas CM must be good because he keeps getting Hex every game, and like, really this is a support that just like cannot contribute as large an impact as that in the late game. He's gonna get it. Absolutely gonna get it.
Resolution hasn't died in like 25 minutes, right? Actually, no, he died in the first 2 minutes, right? He hasn't died in like 32 minutes. He died from the first Enchantress gank. Resolution, you godlike player. keeping himself alive, 5-1-0, closing in on 300 last hits. Let's here's the top last hitter in this game. Like and Klink's Beastmaster OD, you have nothing on Resolution Zeus right now, just spamming out Arc Lightning, but Roshan is alive, and Shazam, they move themselves in. This is going to be a quick one, it looks like, with OD and Lightning pairing up nicely with damage to take down Roshan. The contest, EC considering this, wanting to maybe go in from the back end. Weeha sees the entrance. It is open. It's not a brute force or anything. Resolution got snapped down a little bit. Jesus on the floor. Still chaos. You want to look for this raw. Sure. Who they're going to go for? Resolution hides in the trees. OD's up on the front line, scouted out by the Hawk, but he'll clear that one up, and Roshan taken. Shazam get Aegis and Cheese.
Yeah, it's pretty good for them, but I don't think it gets a lot better. I think the Nemesis is going to finish Shiva's guard now. Then they're probably going to try and use this time to get the we run straight into them. I'm surprised they don't have detection from yet. Well, they do actually. Brax is a gem, so did he just happen?
Oh, where's the DKB? He pops it and kills off two. The Roar and MSS as well. It's gone down, but Digital Chaos, they are just absolutely annihilating. PC runs in and sprints through, but he's looking for the kill onto Wii, who's already got himself away. Saxa, that's the target choice, but I don't think anything is happening here. There was an item dropped on the floor. I'm not sure what happened there. The cheese that was swapped out. It can't be cheese that was swapped out, but something was dropped. Went back around, now they come back in. Ravage from Brax catches up to 3 here, and now MSN Secret 20 seconds hits and kills on 3. There we go, Shazam! Finally showing what they're made of.
Yep. When you cross the OD ulti, sometimes it just destroys everything. You get a nice Ravage, obviously that helps. It was the Klink's dropped his soul ring to pick up the gem. But obviously now that he died, he's lost the gem again, so someone on, I think, yeah, Lion's holding it now. So that's a fight for Shazam, and that's the kind of, like, they need that kind of fight to happen. Just ideally for them, they want that fight to happen, like, at the enemy base. Because, yeah, that's the way that they do things. I see you drawing, is this the Sage's Mask memorial?
Yeah, it's a picture of a cat. Just to cheer up the Sage's Master's grave, you know? Making things all happy again. But DC, do you think they're going to be a little bit disarmed by that, disheartened by the fight that just happened, or do you go back into it again? Like ultis are down for a little while here. You know, a minute and a half for the Eclipse and over a minute for the Ravage.
Yeah. I think DC will precisely, exactly because there's no Ravage, no Sanity Eclipse. Not even a finger of death. The DKB is like actually big impact on this thing. Although Resolution is put out, he's gonna die. Like it was just scouting him out of the trees there. I mean, and the funny thing is, this ward, I feel like this ward that sucks to place the Tinker ward. Made Resolution feel like he's safe there, but Lycan wolves are invisible. So they got him out, he has no idea they can see him, and suddenly it's too late, he gets scorched by Jason.
Misery has not moved from this top lane in quite some time. He's finished off the Hex, like you said, that's his item of choice. And Weehar is up on the front lines as well. And if got this Blink Hex from Misery, he can definitely capture, trap someone. And Wee decides to pop the glyph. Force that one out with his DD rune. He's hexed and stunned here by Jason. But in comes Misery, hexing up a creep. Weehar is annihilated by MSX. Now they turn back on the Snatch, the mid lane's being pushed in as well, and that's where I'm going to try and focus my efforts. Because Kitsu down up at top lane, Jason clears up, Saxa kills him off with a gem. On the deck once more from the mid lane, Araxagon, the Roar and TC, is there going to be enough for Rax? Ravages through, catches off the 2, and moves. Comes back up, mate. No Roar, nothing left to give. Resolution trying to battle through this one with the Veil and the ulti. It's off Rax at the very least. Something. Give back for what they lost.
Yeah, so
Middle is missing.
Radiant's middle barracks are under
they
attack.
go from a dominating position and they've dropped pretty much their entire lead at this stage. The plays are starting to look more scrappy, they're starting to look a bit more consistent. I just feel like one thing leads to another. Like, the fight up here was good, and then suddenly it wasn't so good. And then Resolution gets picked off, and suddenly that's not so good. top lane, there's like, hey, maybe we should back up this tower. I guess I'll go back in. Time to hex a creep. Like, you just get the sense that these things like build on each other. That I don't know. If I had to guess, maybe their communication, the team speaking is frantic than it has been for the first 30 minutes of the game. Like, people are unsure about what they've been doing. Maybe some people are, you know, not too happy about a few of the things recently, and that's where Shazam are going to punish you, because their draft is very straightforward. They know what they do, they know how it works. Like, if someone needs to be caught, it's the lion that's going to catch them. This is how we push, like and go. This is how we fight tied ultis. So, it's quite easy to execute, it's quite straightforward, and there's not much to get there's not much to get scrappy about, whereas DC, I think they put themselves in a strong position, but they've started to collapse a bit. They need to stop that collapse.
Dire's bottom tower.
We have one more big collapse and suddenly they could lose a lot more of their base.
Looking at Sax's little dance, you know, running in and out of these little spots, looking for all the wards, doing the shimmy around. He's not going to catch anything though. There's one Dar Observer ward over towards that top lane. That's about it for now. Move, pressure on as well. 3,000 gold saved up. It's for Shazam. Onto all their ultis bar this rabbit is up in 25 seconds and really getting ready for the next big team fight. Misery. You know, he got this hex and the one time he's used it was on a creep at top lane. A lot of gold to spend on an item that he's not using just yet. Now he's playing even more passively, moving back down into your own jungle. Resolution. You cheaping to mid to shove out this lane while top lane. Tier 3 with no glyph available and MSS. That's a good start with a roll forward. Weehaw, you put me BKB, yeah, but you're not going to be able to get that kill. For a few more crits than you actually got there. Just keep your actions Sam. Keep MSS alive for now.
That is why MSS is more Shivas in this game, because I'm pretty sure that an OD with a Hex side there, like the extra armor and the slowed attack speed, it all adds up and suddenly Klinks can't like chomp through OD in the space of a raw time.
For misery. Oh, for misery. Crystal Maiden. The Lion. Is the safest of places to be now, but Jason has Force Blink and no Scepter. When's the next Roshanza? 1 minute until we find out when the big man returns. Shazam put themselves in a good spot to take this one, even with Weehar and these Necro units pushing up to tier 3. They're yet to take it though. Assault your ass for TC. Really bolsters their team fight quite heavily. That minus armor over. Also the positive armor against the Klinks again, like you say. Desolator minus damage or minus armor is really starting to wear off in potency, and you've got to look at Weehar and start to think where he goes next with his item build. More disabled? Does he think about a Hex? About raw damage output with an MKB or something?
Not too sure actually. Hoping it will give us a hint sometime soon. I'd even consider something like a Blink Dagger, positioning at the stage to get it. Make sure that you like optimize the amount of hits you get off in those fights. I actually think that the game's turn and probably ahead now. I was talking so much about their draft being a timing draft, and I think ultimately it was, and that's what they were going for, but if you just look at the compositions, I think Shazam can take it at this stage in the game, they can take it late. They've got the scalability they need now that they've moved the entire gold deficit, which I just felt like if they missed their early push timing, that deficit was almost inevitable, that they would go behind, they would get out farmed, but they've undone that.
Well, DC have undone that themselves, I feel. They've given it away a little bit. Good moves by Shazam to try and catch them out, but DC have put themselves forward in these positions where they've been allowed to sort out. You worry a little bit about TC though. The Lycan, as the game progresses, does fall off a little bit. Hit 54. Got the 18 hours though. But one draw, that Quince could definitely wail into him enough to bring him down. This pipe forward, is that the Quince? Is that the Enchantress? It is, Enchantress for the pipe.
I could similar evidence to Zeus, I don't know what. I think if Zeus dies, they get wrecked.
A big double ulti out from Resolution, forces them back, tier 3 to con. Top rank's being taken down low. Lion was killed up the top lane. Saxa catches one TP, it's going to be SVG. Stands up, not one for this world, and she's chased out by DC.
That's kill on the Enchantress, kill on the Lion, Lion's buyback. They lose their tower. Both sides have lost their tower. It's overall pretty good for DC. They did also use the refresher on Zeus and he used all his gold, which I wanted to say before. He didn't have buyback cooldown yet anyway, so fair enough. But it was a close thing. I think there was a moment there where Brax might have just been able to ravage the Zeus and they just all in on the Zeus, and if he died without buyback, that's like absolutely guaranteed they would have lost Brax.
Oh, Misery, that Rod of Atos, the Hex turnaround. Now with a Frostbite, the Crystal Nova, slow them down a bit. Now SS still has the Astral Imprisonment there. Misery will drop. 3 seconds without your Crystal Maiden, but he fully buys out Boots of Travel. There's no buyback on him. Maiden with no buyback, no big deal.
The thing about, I mean, he's a super farm Crystal Maiden, and Hex is definitely great utility. If you don't go the conventional builds like Force or Glimmer or BKB or those kinds of things, you really need to be in the seat where you're like, you're in control. So either your team is like making a move together, a gang, fight. If you get caught on your own, it's as if you're just making all this
Well, thanks to BKB, she picks up, and stacks and he heals himself up. 3 hearts stands around to try and fight this one, but look at the shredding that TC gives him. Now 3 hearts trapped in here with a reveal and a stun. He's brought down twice. It's still chaos. They thought the Roshan was going to be simple and easy for them, but it just really wasn't.
And that's the second time that's happened in this game, right? I mean, the first time DC actually lost the rush and they lost the fight with the rush. It's better than that happening, I guess. But it's the second pretty big fight that DC have lost out at the rush pit, like misjudging. And it is a sign. I do feel like this is something we could talk about. Like Shazam is a team that at least most of their players have been playing together for some time, certainly longer than DC have. Some of the things that DC have struggled with in this series are definitely signs of a team that's not yet comfortable with each other, not yet used to communicating with each other, making calls together, you know, crisply and clearly deciding when to go and when not to go, who wants to do what, when and where.
Apparently, thanks to Leon, a little bit of stat here. Crystal Maiden Midas into Scythe been done 8 times all pro Dota 2 matches. Wins and 0 losses. 3 of these done by Misery. Be the first time this World loses. Been a little bit rough for them. Still don't have the cheese though. Cheese. Pretty hard. Doesn't want it. Doesn't want to pick it up. He's going for the Blink Dagger. Left the cheese alone. Age and a bit tastier for later on. Zam. To try and end this game. Drax is gone. Bottom lane is naked and open.
MSS wanted to go on Misery, then he saw Mood TP in, and he had tech forward, so he called in reinforcements, and yep, there's the Zeus ult. He scouts out the reinforcements, and everyone's gonna pull away.
He's on keyboard and got an Invis rune down here. I think Revolution wants to get his hands on that. Necro Archer, get Valve out, try that before kills can come through, but Misery blinked away. He's stuck around there.
I wanted to say about the rush fight actually, it shows again the importance of resolution, because he wasn't there, he like pulled away as that rush fight started. He only had like 400 mana, didn't have any ultis or refresher, and I think that's something that DC have to acknowledge, that it doesn't matter how farmed the other heroes are, the damage is ultimately the Zeus and the Kings, and it's more Zeus than it is the Kings. So if Zeus is dead, or honestly just as bad, if Zeus is not there, running away, then we different world. Jason does get found again by Weeha, and
I finally catch that one. Like he's been dying so quickly in these little clashes. Misery will get cleared up as well, but the Lincoln's back on MSS. got the front fight. The Lion has been dying so quickly. That's like the first time after the third death I've been able to snap back onto him as he gets jumped and picked off so quick from DC. And Shazam, look at that, Brax. A bit of a backstroke. We have an important BKB from him. Brax, there we go. Turns it around, but forced. All Brax wanted, and that's all Brax will get.
I wonder, can Shazam do anything with that? BKB is down, Crystal Maiden's dead, I guess their Lion is also dead, but it does look like they're considering doing something. Maybe at least just getting that last tier 2 at the top lane. Pushing down the mid lane at the moment, I guess they could just go for the one Raxus straight. That seems like the natural thing to do. Becomes the Zeus show again. Can Zeus do Zeus things, or do these Raxus just die too quickly? There's a fortification up for
CC has BKB, even the pipe up from SPG. It looks like these racks, the clip is popped, but they're going to be falling anyway. Damage output down just too massive at this point. Flick forward and roll back on the CC, but in the back end it's MSF. He's got into resolution, is wailing into him, knock it over, clears him up. That's actually clip. Way too much damage for DC to handle, and they've killed off the big old Zeus, who bites back to try and turn this one around, but Saxa on the hunt, looking for TC now. They can see the slow and stopping, but there's a force stab, another ulti from D, but still not enough damage. Finally they'll kill TC with another Thunderbolt, and maybe even Brax.
Tower is under attack.
Misery going out in that final freezing field, but top lane still defended while two lane of racks ahead. Shazam commanding position.
Yeah, this is Jason wants to get revenge, and it's not gonna happen. He's gonna die the we are again. Just feels like the last few minutes of the game, Jason is dying we are all the time, but it's not really that important, to be honest. That just DC on the other side of the map trying to actually push, and they can force some buybacks. They know that the OD doesn't have Sanity's Eclipse, and they want to force something. So at least once it's gonna see if they can get even one buyback, they'll probably feel good about it. From the position that they have been in, from the fact that they've had to buy back their Zeus, to get as much as they can out of that. Lynx is not nearby though, and he's actually the only real pushing hero. Beastmaster does some pushing, I suppose.
Uber just travel these racks, but the lift is up for Shazam, and I don't think DC really have the means to stick around and take this one out unless we get through a little bit faster. Misery's got good attack speed. Slow down a touch with the Rod of Athos there for NSS. Stop the push in, and the racks are defended.
No buyback forced, and now we've got I mean, Zeus is not going to have buyback for another 5 minutes, and if he dies in that time, his team will almost certainly just lose the game. That's what I think, and this is what I was saying, like Shazam had the window, they missed the window, they went far behind, but once they got back in the game, they actually have better carries in the late game. Kinks and Zeus are both good in like the way they need to position and the kind of fights they want. They're not like, they're not your genuine traditional type of carry that just gets into a fight, uses BKB and fire it full. They can get played out tactically.
D. That's a refresher roll. Maybe double shivers, but double Sanity's Eclipse is big one to look out for. BKB timing is what we're looking at. We are down to 5. Else left for DC to talk about. Still got cheese over on Moo's Beastmaster, and with the refresher roll, he's got double roars. Sacks up. Saves out. Fine.
You know, one of the inherent weaknesses or flaws of Klinks as a carry, I just want to point out because it's happened a few times already, is his ulti produces like a third of his HP. Currently he's at 2.4k, and I think you'll see when his ulti runs out, he's 1.6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty much a third of his HP is the ulti. That means you need to fight around when he has the ulti, and you don't have that luxury. Like, very often the fight just starts, he's only got 5 seconds left, and there isn't the opportunity to go find a new creep to eat. So it's just, again, one of many things that make the hero. I feel like it kind of peaks in the mid game once we play with another carry into the late game, and if that other carry is a Zeus, then it kind of feeds into the whole narrative of what Shazam needs to do is just make a plan to take out the Zeus. We saw that done really well by MSS. We're aware of it in that one lane when they're pushing, just BKB blink in and go ham on the Zeus. MSS, by the way, has replaced his Rod of Atos with a refresher wall.
Big old item to slow down the Zeus. He'll be able to double zap, and he's gonna double zap. Resolution stays on 3 after his refresher orb. He wants to kill people off as Saxa uses his first BKB charge of the game. Run away from MSS. OD was quick on the hunt, while Roshan is back up in a minute and 10 seconds.
Misery.
The up to.
He beat onto the Hawk, and now he is uplifting. Alright.
Oh!
His team is pushing this wave anyway, so it doesn't really make a huge difference. But I imagine Shazam are like, how is this going to get there?
All by magic, but what is magic is Saxon's life point drained away by MSS. Look at the arcane orb damage go! SVG. Let's put out the gem, the TP's out. They're going to go to top lane, we are! Yeah. Pressure orb from MSS now looking to chase down Moo. That's okay, and that's a refresher pulse by MSS for no big gain, but to have that second ulti available now.
So, incidentally, Weha is 30 gold fighting that. I mean, it doesn't hunting in the face.
Misery went for the YOLO play. He is going to pay for it. Outlaw Devourer now beyond gold, like 14-1 and 8 over on MSS for OD. He's dead for DC. No buybacks available, you're saying. So Clinks has it now.
Yeah, he has it now. Just need a little bit of gold.
John's alive.
Have it. Yeah. It's gonna be a rush. Game is looking worse and worse and worse for DC, and I mean, within their means to get key pickups and tournaments on outplay Shazam, but based on the flow today and the ways that they're making cuts, whatever, they've been killing Jason. Yeah, like, they need to put together more effective pickups than Jason if they want to turn this game around.
They need to do some damage to these barracks as well. They've been pushing top for the past 20 minutes. And it's only a bit of chip damage onto the Ranger Axes. Look at that Necro unit stolen back by SVG, and he stops the push single-handedly. Roshan, easy Aegis for TC, well, Cheese. Rats, but Cheese dropped his Necro 3. Guess I can put it on the courier and bring it out.
The incredible thing is that DC have managed to like keep the golden XP lead pretty much throughout, even though I'm pretty behind for a long time now. And I think it goes back to Maiden Midas. Why that's kind of how you explain it, because it really just hasn't generated that much value. Like, I'm not saying it's the wrong gold, it was clearly the right gold, but since he got the hex, they haven't got like huge. You have a CM sitting with a lot of gold, which isn't actually worth that much in real value terms.
It's like inflated.
Yeah, exactly. She doesn't actually. This Crystal Maiden's impact in the game is not actually representing 17,000 gold. It just isn't. Like, she's not having 17,000 gold impact in the game. And if she were, then literally DC might get at this stage.
You had that moment. You bought the Midas and the Crystal Maiden, you're thinking, yep, it's going to pay off, and it paid off in the short run. 10 minutes later, you've got your Hex, you've got a bunch of gold, you've got loads of money, going around the dock, and now you're sitting here thinking, I'm a Crystal. What am I doing with my life? Saxa smoked up, vision up on the high ground as well with an Aghanim Scepter, while we pinged out actually. Don't know if they know about this directly, but the ping came saying that people are going to come in from the sidelines here as Shazam back themselves away and do not want to be caught off guard. Jason is all alone at middle lane. This is meant to be a sneaky push forward and defense to a high ground with some good old aggression. Chaos, but it's not going to work that way.
Money changes.
The bot lane setting up for if someone comes to push it out, which is actually extremely likely to happen. If they were to get resolution, it's like he's the one coming across here. And catches, that's a TN from your OD, and that's a kill. It's a very, very big kill if you get it.
We're looking buyback-wise now for the Radiant. One on clicks, Beastmaster gets the maiden, no buyback on the use for 2 gold. He's got it now though and available, but it's still the tier 3 being pushed in. Weed has jumped into the backline with the official able to see demolishes him, and now look at this! Smooth rolls of the MSS, but it's got the pipe going to be confused, clearing through DC, and there's nothing left they can do. The buyback from the Clinks will try and get himself back into this fight, but Shazam, they still hold on to the Roar, the Sandy's Eclipse, and the Finger of Death, and they hold the high ground. Pushing up with a Lycan. This tier 3 no longer as well. Using to exist and Brax it. It's Ravage pops it out for Resolution. He's dead as well. Zeus is gone. 5 back into the game again. But Weeha refreshes from OD clears him up easily. While Moon runs down the road to OD. It's just not working out. Brax stands his ground. Helps out with a Lycan and pops the T. But a TC easily bails himself away, while Zeus Resolution, he popped the dagger onto the Lincoln Spear of the Outworld Devourer. You're looking at this wondering, well, Eclipse is dead, 110 seconds, TC is running and retreating, he might die here. They look to finally clear him up and chase down some chances as well. Resolution buyback, it's working out decently. Shazam, they failed to get the barracks up at top.
4 of the 5 DC heroes buying back. I think Shazam will be more than happy with that. With 4 of your heroes buy back, you want to force the enemy team's buy back, do you want to get Rush or you want to get Raxes? That's the only thing that makes it enough. Saving your own Raxes is actually not, you know, you haven't lost the game, but it's far from being any kind of win. I think you just have any buybacks.
Shazam, wait for your ultis to come off cooldown. Go again. Left is up, but there's a Hex. What did he drop for his Hex?
He not have an Aegis.
Lycan had it. Lycan had Aegis and Cheese was on Tide.
Drop the 8 sauce when he pressure. The Shivas. He had a Shivas.
Ah.
Yeah.
Did he drop it or sell it? He sold it.
The Tide bought a Shivas. Not anymore.
Okay. So OD sold his Shift Guard for a Hex. And now they've got double Hex then. Double the disable. Push hard into the bottom lane. The force that forward to put up. Ooh, oh, Beastmaster, that's tragic. 2 minutes without the Beastmaster. This is 15 seconds.
They get Jason.
Of course they bloody get Jason.
Eternal trade, but you're gonna learn the hard way that killing Jason is not enough to beat Shazam, and this is something that Complexity learns in of the games.
Kill Jason,
kind of part of the
game.
Yeah, Jason accepts it.
Well, it might be a resolution. See ya. He's gone as well. I think it might just be GG. Weeha is in the middle of everyone. There is no standing. Maybe tries to cheeky DKB blink in for the freezing field, but that is it. GG is called, and Shazam will be going through to the grand finals here for the ESL One Frankfurt 2016 American Qualifiers. We'll find out who they'll be playing against in a little while. Our series coming up soon is Complexity against Team 3.
Very interesting match, especially this game. I feel like DC very correctly understood how Shazam wanted to play. They anticipated their window, they closed it down, got a big lead, and then they just weren't really sure what they wanted to do themselves. And in that hesitation, in those few minutes where they went